USBC's cracked down on 6 more Storm bowling balls, and something just doesn't feel right. But I'm going to tell you why. Let's get into it here on 10 Pin Life. What is up, you guys? Welcome to 10 Pin Life. My name is Ben. In this video, we're going to go over the decision by USBC to ban 6 more Storm bowling balls from national competition, what my take is on it, as well as why I think that this just feels so weird and so wrong. And I'm actually going to look at it from a little bit of a different perspective. If you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like this video, and share it with your friends. But let's get into it. So USBC made the decision yesterday to, as of today, the Phase 4 Electrify Solid, Trend 2, Wolverine, Altered Reality, and UFO Alert are all disqualified for national tournament play. According to USBC, the reason that this decision was made was because these balls, at least as a percentage basis, were not meeting the minimum hardness standards of the 73D. Even though they had been previously certified, they must have been doing additional testing and found that they were out of spec. Even though these balls are banned for national tournament use, as it stands right now, they are still USBC approved. What USBC said is at each USBC competition, whether tournament or league, they have the option to adopt the national tournament rule prohibiting use of these balls or continue to allow their use. When this ruling came down, there was something about it that just didn't feel right to me, and there's a few different reasons why. To start off, one of the reasons why this decision really bothers me is the same reason why banning the Jackals in 2016 and the timing in which that they did really bothered me as well. To take a bowling ball from approved to unapproved is a whole other thing. We're going to get into that. But the timing is important. Back in 2016, Nationals has already begun, and then the Jackal and Jackal Carnage were removed from all USBC certification. So guys that bowled before that ban were able to use those bowling balls. And because of the fact that they're illegal, that implies that there was a competitive advantage for them to use those balls at the time that they did. Scores weren't thrown out. They didn't have to re-bowl, anything like that, because the logistics, and honestly, just the way in which that could or would have to occur are almost impossible. So now for this to exist with 6 different bowling balls that have all definitely been thrown at least a few times down there at Nationals, and definitely by the guy that's in regular all events leading, Chris Barnes. He threw at least an Altered Reality, and I believe he also threw a Phase 4. That implies that he had a distinct competitive advantage based on illegal equipment, which he was allowed to use based on the time frame in which he bowled. The decision to come down on this in the middle of this tournament and do it in the way that they did just sits wrong with me. It handicaps all of the guys that bowl after them, whether or not they want to admit it or not. So needless to say, I disagree with the decision to do this in the middle of that event because of the nature of the event, but also the nature of how difficult that event is, how much preparation goes into it, and how that little bit of an edge can give so many guys a big advantage. But that leads me into my second thing that really has just hit me kind of in a weird, but also in the wrong way. Why is it a national-only decision? How can a bowling ball be legal in a local tournament and illegal in a national tournament? If a ball is out of spec, it's out of spec. I have no problem if USBC wants to ban bowling balls. I have no skin in the game. I don't work for Storm. I don't work for Motive. I don't work for Brunswick. I don't work for any of these people. If a ball's illegal, make it illegal. I don't give a shit. But to say that something is illegal for a national event and not for a state or a local event is going to create one thing, and that's chaos and more division. To give that much leeway in a state or a local association and letting people pick and choose when a bowling ball is illegal or isn't, to me, is just going to cause a ton more problems. And really, USBC's job as the governing body, they should be able to be setting these hard and fast rules. Like, ball's illegal, ball is not. Done. End of story. Just don't leave it up to people that maybe don't know what they're talking about, or they don't even have the data to know what they're talking about. USBC certifies these balls at a national level. The national level needs to say yes or no. Which leads me to my next point. The fact that multiple bowling balls across all of the brands now in the last 6 years have gone from approved to unapproved tells me that there's something missing. I don't know exactly what the USBC testing process is. I don't know what the quality control process is at these ball manufacturers, but something is missing. The fact that these bowling balls can go from approved to unapproved to illegal in, for some, a longer period of time, some a short period of time, to me, tells me something is wrong. And the shitty part about this whole thing is, I don't even have enough data to propose a solution. There's not enough information out there and available from any of these entities for us to actually propose an idea. And I'm not saying that they're not working on it either. I'm not going to say that anybody, Storm, any of the producers, USBC, the PBA, none of them, in my opinion, have poor intentions. I'm not here to say that anybody out there is a bad person. I think they have bad ideas, but that doesn't make them bad people. But as a bowler, man, is this frustrating, because I was really, really excited to go out to Vegas and bring that UFO alert that I drilled the day before that this decision came down, to be able to bring my Wolverine, which I've put up a bunch of really good scores with, and to have that arsenal shift out from under my feet. And thankfully, I have time to adjust. If I was flying out there now, I'd be losing it. But to remove that control from a bowler in this highly competitive environment where they're already losing bowlers, why? I don't understand it. Just, we need to figure out what the gap is in this testing and approval process so that this doesn't happen anymore. But all of those reasons why this decision bothers me, I really feel is a symptom and not a cause. To me, the cause is the fact that across the bowling industry, there is a significant lack of accountability on all fronts. That includes me. If I throw the ball like crap, how many times do I find some reason or some person or some variable out of my control to blame? Whereas if I just own the fact that I threw it like crap, I can implement a solution. It's my thing to fix. I really feel like there is such a lack of an understanding and ultimately implementation of what a true accountable process is, that is what is creating this divide, this tribes, this camp between USBC and Storm or whoever that is dividing us as a group of bowlers. We're forgetting the fact that we are all one entity in those that love the sport of bowling. Where is it falling apart? Number one, we do not have a shared understanding of what reality is. There's not enough data, whether it's exposure and understanding of the testing process, the production process, quality control, why the decision was actually made to ban these bowling balls after they've been approved, what the data is regarding hardness. And now bowlers that are on the side of Storm are coming out and saying, contest this, fight it, this is BS. They're just creating more and more of a divide without data. We don't know. We don't have a shared reality. If we don't have a shared reality as a community of bowlers, we are not going to come to a collaborative solution. And because of the fact that we do not have this shared reality, means that there's no opportunity for the people who are responsible for the parts of the problem to own that piece. When we don't have ownership, we can't actually create solutions. When we can't create solutions, we either create bad solutions that we don't have a consensus on, we don't have collaboration, we don't have an agreement upon as a community of bowlers. But we also get excuses. We get blaming, we get finger pointing, we get resentment, we get anger, we get all of these negative things that push people out of the sport. Stop blaming people. If you don't have a true understanding of the reality, stop pointing the fucking finger. I'm not saying that this is going to be easy, but USBC, Storm, other manufacturers, quality control people, whoever is involved in this whole thing need to step up and own their piece. As a bowler, that's all I want. I just want somebody to tell us what's actually happening, because doing this crap behind a black curtain and behind all of these walls is really, really frustrating. So just like when everything came down with Sean Rash of the Players' Championship, this is not just an opportunity to segment ourselves further, to put up walls between bowlers. This is an opportunity to collaborate. There's such an opportunity to come together in a tough time. This is not going to be easy for a lot of people. It's going to be really freaking expensive for a lot of people. But that doesn't mean that we have to put ourselves in these camps and say, you're right and you're wrong. This is an opportunity for us to come together and say, what's the problem? What's the solution? If we can't do that, we're just going to head further and further into what Lucas Wiseman somehow accurately referred to as bowling being in a crisis. Yes, 60 plus million people bowl and have no idea what any of this is, but there's a lot of very involved bowlers that this is going to impact significantly. We need to collaborate on this. We need to come together. We need to unify, and we need to problem solve. I didn't want to make this video. I really didn't, but I hope you guys liked it. This is not stuff that I like talking about. I don't like the fact that we are continuing to be more and more disjointed as a community. But if we can use this as an opportunity to improve, if we can use this as an opportunity to grow and work together and find solutions to problems, I'm all for it. This cannot be a defining point for the bowling industry. This has to be a bump in the road. Nobody moves forward without experiencing setbacks. We are going to get through this as long as we remember that we are a community of bowlers. We are all here for the same purpose because we love this sport. Let's use this as an opportunity to come together, not as an excuse to divide even further. So I'm going to keep asking questions. I'm going to keep reaching out to people, hoping for more information, and I'm going to keep trying to perpetuate the idea of collaboration, not division, because I want to live my best life, which is a 10-pin life.